Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fueling for Functional Fitness. I'm Josh.
I'm Jess.
And today we're going to be talking about post-workout nutrition. All right. And big surprise, it's not that much different than your pre-workout nutrition. So hopefully you saw our last video. There's going to be a lot of things that carry over into this one. But there are some nuances. So we're going to go ahead and talk about those right now.
So just like with pre-workout nutrition, post-workout nutrition, the two macros you want to focus on are protein and carbohydrates. Protein because
that's going to help you replenish your muscles and really rebuild your muscle, all the damage that you just did in the workout. That's what it's about.
Yeah. And carbs because you're refilling the glycogen, which is carbohydrate stored in your muscles. You've just used a bunch of that in your workout. And also carbs are protein sparing. So, we just talked about the importance of protein post-workout. Making sure you're getting adequate carbs in will mean that your body uses those for that kind of replenishment process versus going to protein, because protein's got its own special thing, special role going on.
Yeah. And remember that the carbohydrates are the body's chosen fuel source or energy source. So if you're on a higher fat diet, that's okay. That can work to a certain extent, but immediately before your workout and immediately after your workout, your body's going to be completely depleted of carbohydrates. So replenishing those is really, really important. So I just want to bring that up too.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit about timing in the pre-workout nutrition video. Post-workout nutrition is really similar. So the closer that you're eating to your workout, the easier to digest you want it to be. So post-workout, you don't necessarily need to eat something right away. Get done with your Metcon, you're laid out on the floor, but you're oh, I gotta get up. My window of gains is closing. Just make sure that you're getting something within about 2, maybe even 3, 4 hours is kind of pushing it. But let's say 2 hours or so after your workout for a solid meal. Now, the exception to that is with pre-workout, if you train fasted.
Yeah. And the main reason that you want to try to get in something a little bit sooner if you're training fasted is because you are so depleted. So for instance, if you work out early in the morning and it's 5:30 class and you wake up and you just roll out of bed, maybe have some water, some coffee, come and do your workout. You are, all through the night, not eating, you're dehydrated. Then you do your workout. Immediately after that, you're going to be in a catabolic state. So your body is going to be consuming anything that it can get. That could be spare carbohydrates, that could be fats, that could also be protein and muscle. So in order to stop that process, you have to get in some sort of protein or carbohydrate. That could also be an amino acid supplement. Sometimes that's that's kind of a little bit of a gray area, but that could also be helpful to stop the catabolism. So like she was saying, that would be one instance where you wouldn't want to wait that long. You want to get that shake and maybe a piece of fruit. We talked about bananas in the last video. That's a great alternative. It's really mild on your stomach and you stop that catabolic effect and you start to replenish yourself and get into that more anabolic state, which we all want.
Yeah. So in that case, if you're eating something within half an hour, 45 minutes after your workout or taking in a protein shake and a banana, the other piece of that is how much. So protein shake is probably going to run you 25-ish grams of protein. You want to be shooting for at least that in carbohydrates. And if you are doing that kind of post-workout, shortly after your workout supplement, you want to stick to something that is high GI. So something that is going to be a little bit easier to digest, so not a ton of fiber. Your body is going to use that up a lot more quickly and help replenish those glycogen stores more quickly.
Yep. There's a bunch of different examples that we can give, about that or for that. But I would say that, again, if you're going to have something immediately after, let it be small, but it's fast digesting. And then maybe a little bit after that, after your system calms down and you kind of catch your breath and get your wits about you, depending on what kind of workout you're doing, then you have that like larger meal. And there's, again, a bunch of different options. You want to talk about some of the options?
Sure. So one of my favorite options for like a post-workout meal is overnight oats. Partially because you can customize them, you can make them savory, you can make them sweet, but you're also going to get that low GI carb in the oats. So that's going to digest more slowly. It's going to have less of an impact on your blood sugar. If you wanted, you could throw some like honey in there, high GI carb, uptakes a little bit quicker. But then also you can add some protein, like we do protein sometimes. Yeah. So like throw some scoop of protein in there, or have like, some egg whites with it. One of our other coaches, Brittany, I know like makes her oats. This wouldn't be an overnight version because she cooks them in the microwave, but she makes them with egg whites. So that's a little bit like higher protein right there. And then, or you can like add some nut butter with that as well. If you're doing a hard boiled egg on the side, that'll give you a little bit of fat as well. But that's a great option for really any time of day. But if you are working out and then going to work or going somewhere else, that's something you can pack in your bag and it's pretty like shelf stable for the day.
Yeah, shelf stable for the day. Yeah. One of the things that we wanted to touch on was the Friday Night Lights, or like the events that some gyms do, and not all gyms do it, but during the Open, it's a really exciting time. And on Friday nights, a lot of gyms will get everyone together. It's kind of like a little mini in-house competition. If you go to a box and you're part of the CrossFit community, I'm sure that you've heard about that. But if not, then there you go. That's kind of what happens. But something that you want to think about is your timing of your food and making sure that you have what you need for after that event, because you might be used to working out at 5:30 a.m. and then you kind of have that little itty bitty breakfast and then kind of go about your day. But all of a sudden you shift 12 hours and all of a sudden you're working out at 5:30 p.m. Things change a little bit. So we want to make sure that you are ready and prepared to, replenish and have a good workout, but have what you need.
So. Right. Yeah. And another thing about Friday Night Lights is sometimes gyms will provide food, or sometimes it'll be like a potluck type situation, which is really cool, but there might not be food there that is ideal for your post-workout recovery, right? So like gym might provide pizza. Pizza's delicious. Is it high protein, high carb, low fat? Like probably not. So doing your research ahead of time, especially if Friday Night Lights is a new thing for your gym, and seeing like if there will be food provided, if it's potluck or not. If it's not, or if it is and there aren't great options, then you just bring your own food. And you can bring something really simple like chicken, rice, broccoli. That's a great meal. Or you could do something like a turkey wrap, like with a whole wheat wrap and maybe some like baby carrots on the side. Now, would you want to eat those meals 30 to 45 minutes after you worked out, or would we be looking down the line a little bit more?
Yeah, personally, I would go a little bit down the line. I would choose something that's a little bit more fast digesting immediately after, and then go ahead and have that meal. I know that like in the past, like I've done these workouts before, and my immediate go-to is something like cream of rice with some berries and a little bit of almond butter, and it's like that is all predominantly high GI, so it like digests like really quickly. And then after things calm down and you're kind of like hanging out with your friends, then you can maybe have something a little bit more substantial. Like that turkey wrap is like a great idea, because you have the wheat, you have the turkey, which is relatively lean, and then you get to decide how much fats and how much other stuff you want to put on it. It's totally up to you. Yeah. But that's how like I would handle it. And I know Jess does a similar thing. It has done a similar thing in the past.
Yeah. And the other nice thing about a turkey wrap versus like the chicken, rice, and broccoli is if your gym doesn't have a microwave that's ready to use, you don't have to eat room temp or cold chicken, rice, and broccoli, which, it could make a difference. So, but I know like after those workouts for me, like historically, I'm not ready to like sit down with a meal. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of camaraderie going on. Like my, like adrenaline is still really high. And so just grabbing something like a shake and a banana, sitting down with friends to watch the next heat.
Yeah.
And then, a little bit down the line when my system has settled and when I'm ready to get something in, I'll get something in. But
Totally.
those are all things to think about.
Yeah, and really, we've been talking a lot about the open, but just like the pre-workout nutrition, all of this stuff, all of these ideas and things that we're talking about apply to really any kind of workout. So as long as you're pushing yourself in the gym and really like aiming to do your very best, these nutrition tips for post-workout will work, and you will feel a difference. Like, we can get really nuanced with these things and get really nitty-gritty, but if you just stick to the basics, like we talked about, high protein, higher carbohydrate, and lower fats, like you will feel a difference and get a better recovery out of that.
Yep. And the same with pre-workout. The closer you're eating to the workout, the easier you want it to be to digest. Further away from your workout, the more you can work in more of those complex low GI carbs, maybe a little bit more fat post-workout than you would pre. But it's still those like big ideas that are pretty similar between the two.
Totally. So that's it.
Yeah. Well,
that's it for this video. The next time we come back, we're going to be talking like specifically about the open workouts because it's getting pretty close, which is going to be really exciting. So we hope that these two first videos were helpful, the pre and post workout nutrition. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments. We'll get back to you. Like and subscribe, do all the things, and stay tuned because we'll be doing some more. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Josh.
I'm Jess.
And we'll see you next time on Fueling for Functional Fitness.
Thanks, guys. Uh-oh.
It didn't even work. My God.